Welcome to Hockeywiztalks podcast. Today I'll be talking about 10 players who could be on the move during the NHL Trade Deadline. The NHL Trade Deadline is fast approaching, so I thought it would be fitting to talk about players who could be on the move. Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall is the player on this list who is most likely to be moved. The Sabres are going to be selling everyone on their team, and Hall is one of the players on their team that can actually land a solid return at the deadline. It makes sense to move him because he's a UFA at the end of the season, and with the way the season has gone for him, Hall will not want to return to Buffalo. Teams interested in Taylor Hall would be the New York Islanders, Florida Panthers, and Boston Bruins. Johnny Gaudreau. It's normally a shock to see the best player on a team to get traded, but in the case of the Calgary Flames, they must have a major shakeup for them to get to the next level. Johnny Gaudreau is a great regular season player, but he is a perimeter player, so when Calgary plays against more physical teams, they usually struggle. With that said, I think Calgary will finally pull the trigger on a Gaudreau trade. Teams interested in Johnny Gaudreau would be the Philadelphia Flyers, Montreal Canadiens, and Toronto Maple Leafs. Mattias Ekholm. The Nashville Predators are likely going to be sellers at the deadline, and the top trade target for most teams is Mattias Ekholm. Ekholm is a reliable top 4 defenseman who has playoff experience, and he would be very helpful to a contending team. Teams interested in Mattias Ekholm are the Boston Bruins, Philadelphia Flyers, and Montreal Canadiens. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Also visit my scouting blog at hockeywiz77scouting.com. Ryan Ellis. Ryan Ellis is another defenseman that the Nashville Predators might look to move at the deadline. Ellis is a veteran top pair defenseman who can log heavy minutes and play in all situations. Teams interested in Ryan Ellis are the Winnipeg Jets, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Vancouver Canucks. Kyle Palmieri. With the New Jersey Devils out of the playoff race, it is very likely for them to move a veteran scorer like Kyle Palmieri. Kyle Palmieri should draw plenty of interest on the trade market, as he is a proven scorer in the league. Teams interested in Kyle Palmieri include the Calgary Flames, Colorado Avalanche, and Pittsburgh Penguins. Jonathan Quick. The LA Kings are likely going to move forward with Cal Peterson as their starting goalie, so the Kings should look to move Jonathan Quick. Quick is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion and Conn Smythe winner, so he should draw some interest from contending teams who need stability in net. Teams interested in Jonathan Quick are the Colorado Avalanche, Pittsburgh Penguins, and New York Rangers. RAKELL. RAKELL is an attractive trade asset for the Anaheim Ducks, as he is a versatile forward who can play all 3 forward positions, which would be very useful to contending teams. I expect RAKELL to be moved before the deadline, especially because the Ducks certainly have the personnel necessary to replace him on the team. Teams interested in RAKELL are the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and New York Islanders. Follow my Facebook and Instagram at HockeyWiz777. Sam Reinhart. Another Buffalo Sabre who could be on the move is Sam Reinhart. Reinhart has somewhat been a disappointment with the Sabres for being a 2nd overall pick, but he is nonetheless still a great NHL player who contending teams would want on their team. Teams interested in Sam Reinhart include the Pittsburgh Penguins, Calgary Flames, and Florida Panthers. Anthony Mantha. The Detroit Red Wings will be open to trading any player who is not Dylan Larkin at the deadline. So a player like Anthony Mantha certainly would be very valuable because of his goal-scoring potential. Mantha would be a solid top 6 winger on a team looking to make a playoff push. Teams interested in Anthony Mantha include the Carolina Hurricanes, Edmonton Oilers, and Vancouver Canucks. David Savard. The Columbus Blue Jackets might not make the playoffs this year, so they could look to move a player like David Savard. Savard is a solid veteran defenseman with some playoff experience and would be a good rental. Teams interested in David Savard include the Philadelphia Flyers, Toronto Maple Leafs, and New York Islanders. It is going to be interesting to see how the trade deadline unfolds and who ends up where.